today we have a really cool giant blow mold. This is a 16-inch blow mold jack-o'-lantern. I got this from the At Home store. Now they also do sell online and ship. So if you're not near one, get to one because they're going into bankruptcy and I don't know if they're going to be here next year. So get one now. All right. This comes in also black and in orange. I do a lot of candy corn themed ones, but today we're going to be doing black and white themed. We've got all sorts of goodies. I have these curl picks here. I've got these from Michael's. I got two of these. This is just a branch I got from Michael's last year. This was Bloom Room. Oh, Joann, rest in peace, girl. Got some of this. My favorite thing, though, is going to be, this is 60919. This is a mixed greenery bush you can get from places like Craft Outlet, Deco Exchange. I don't know what colors they have, but lots of online suppliers. Also check the Wreath Shop. They carry this, but we use this a lot because there's so much in here that it really fills things out, and then it makes us have to put together less. So this is one of our favorites. I also have this that I got from Craft Outlet. Obviously, you can tell that it's black and white themed, but the whole thing really centers around this. Now, I believe, I don't know, I took the tag off. This might have been Michael's last year. Not entirely sure, but it's got 3 little witch hats, okay, which are super cute, and it's got a little purple spider on there and little purple balls. So this is going to be mainly black and white, but we're going to have little hints of purple, okay? And of course, we're going to make, well, we got more purple. We're going to make a big juicy bow because we love a big bow, okay? I'm also going to be adding around the base of this some mesh, just some curls, making some ruffles. But I think I should start by taking off the price tag. I always forget to do this. I'm crazy. So this was $34.99 at the At Home store, okay? And you can see it lights up. It's perfect. On the top here, you can just get floral foam and you can adhere it on. I would recommend with E6000, but I have sprayed this with gaps and cracks. What that is a red can with a yellow lid, and it is spray insulation. So if you spray it on something or in a container, it acts like floral foam. Spray it in a well-ventilated area, preferably outside. Don't breathe this in, and don't touch it because this stuff, once you get on, it just, I have ruined countless shirts by getting gaps and cracks on it. It does not come off, okay? Doesn't wash off. So got to be real careful with that. But we're just going to build this out. So the height is probably going to come up to about here. I don't want to go any more than twice the height, but I mean, this is pretty sturdy, so we can add a lot of height. So what I want to start with is cutting some mesh. So this is 10.5-inch mesh. Now this particular one is black. It's got a white border stripe. This is kind of like the last part of a roll. And then I have some other mesh that I've already cut. So this has already been cut at 18 inches. I really want to use this though, but I want to cut more than 18 to get some thicker stuff. So I'm going to cut this probably about 24 inches. So I might get like 3 pieces off. So I'm going to be mixing this black and white with the solid black. Cutting these up. Now I have a pick machine that I will use to add these on there. You don't have to have a pick machine. There is another alternative you can use if you get those any like little wood dowels, or like, you know, the green floral wood picks. You can use those too. We just kind of can cut them down if they need to be smaller. So we have that we can use, and then some pipe cleaners. We're going to be using pipe cleaners as well. All right, let's see how long this last piece is. I'm going to use it just like this. This is a big sucker. This is like a 32-incher. I might put him on the back to make sure he gives us lots of coverage. What I'm trying to do is basically cover in this. Now, if I'd had more time, because I only had a week, right? If I had remembered, because I didn't, I could have painted this black, but I think we're going to have enough stuff around here where you're not going to see it, because we're going to have a big bow in front that's going to cover most of it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of my picks and stuff off to the side so that I can, here we go. I'm going to move that. Oh my God. Stay. You know, we all have like a mountain of supplies right off where you look at the table, right? Everybody's got one. It's our secret shame. Shh. But I'm going to move him over to the side because I want to show you how I'm going to make these curls. Okay. I'm going to start with these 5. And then if I need to add in some black, I can. But, you know, it's rolled, so it naturally wants to curl up. So that's what I'm going to let it do. I'm going to let it curl up. But I want to curl the ends in. So we're going to make a cruffle. What a cruffle is a curl plus a ruffle. Cruffle. See? There we go. I'm just going to curl the ends in because I don't want to see the frayed edges. Okay, so we have it like this, curled in about 2 to 3 times. And then I'm just going to ruffle this up the middle. Okay, ruffle it up. I'm going to go grab a bunch of black chenille stems. Let's not get fancy. It's a pipe cleaner, okay? It's a pipe cleaner. All right, so these, I'm going to cut this in half only because I have a stem cutter. If you don't have a stem cutter, I'll show you what to do in a minute with that, okay? But these, I'm just going to put this on the bottom, and I'm just going to pull it tight. And then I'm twisting the rest of it. And then I'm going to cut off a little bit. So I just want about 1 inch, okay? I'm going to bring over my pick machine. Okay, my spiel about the pick machine. If you make a lot of stuff, I would highly recommend investing in one, but try to get one used because there's lots of people who stop crafting. Floral shops go out of business. I got mine used off of eBay and it was fantastic. All right, so there's a little pick in here, okay? If I move the handle upward, a pick comes out, okay? It's right there. I'm going to lay this pipe cleaner on the bottom of the pick, the spine of the pick, and then I push down on the handle, and that grabs it real tight. I release, I pull forward, and we get a sharp little pick that will hurt you. So be careful. All right. I'm going to do a couple other ones, and I'll save one at the end to show you what to do if you don't have a pick machine. There's always solutions. You don't have to have all the most important, latest gadgets and whatnot, right? I mean, there's ways to make do. You don't have to have a mesh roller holder when you cut your stuff. I saw someone that used a laundry basket, and then they just put dowels between there, and it held their mesh while they cut it. Ingenious. Okay, bring this down. This is the big fat one, so this is going to take an extra little twist in. This is the one that's going to go in the back. Look at, that's a big ruffle. I like that. I like that. All right. Cutting these off. All right. 2. All right. Cut this one in half again. This is my 3rd one. I'm going to be cruffling up from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Down from the top. 1, 2, 3. All right. Ruffle, 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 ruffle up the center. The ruffles have ridges. I can't roll my R's. I got penalized about that in Spanish class in high school because I physically can't roll my R's. Like, it's not my fault. I've tried everything. Couldn't do it. All right. All right. Now I'm going to show you what to do if you don't have a pick machine. So I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to grab one of my little, this is just those little green floral stems with the absolutely useless little friggin' wire. What the hell purpose does that serve? Nothing. It doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to ruffle it up just like we normally would, but this time I'm probably going to keep the pipe cleaner one piece. Okay, just to give us a little bit more to wrap around that dowel. And I will speak to it, but I'm actually going to end up putting a pick on this one. Okay, so here I would have a whole pipe cleaner. Okay, put it down on the bottom. I usually put it against my chest, but you know, we don't need to focus on that area. But it does say, "Which please." I wore it out today when I went to pick up a big order of bead grass at Craig Bachman, and that finally came in. I was very excited too, but you know, I'm like driving there. I'm like, I don't know if non-craft people understand that it's okay to wear the Halloween stuff right now. Oh, I was talking. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, there we go. We're gonna pretend that I didn't just do that. We're gonna pretend that this is a big long. You twist this, the whole thing, okay? Twist it into one long piece, okay? Then you would just take this thing. You could add a little dab of glue here, okay? And then you would just wrap the pipe cleaner around the stem, okay? You would just wrap it around. And then, because this is so long, you can just cut this with scissors. You just want it to be sharp enough where it can pierce the foam. So you just cut it with scissors, and it does the same exact thing as adding in a metal pick. But the key is to add a little dab of glue. And then the bigger key is don't glue yourself to it. Don't burn yourself. Trust me, friends. I'm still healing from a burn last week. It went underneath my ring right here, and it oh gosh, it's so painful. All right, let me get this one off so I can put this through the pick machine. And I know I'm going to end up using that later, so that's going to go over there. That one's going to go over there. All right, a little bit more off. All right, pick up, push down. Okay, I'll put the pick machine off to the side. I might still need it if I want to add in some black, but I've got 4 big pieces here. So where is the biggest, juiciest one? I think was this one. So I'm going to put this one all the way in the back, okay? So I'm going to put him kind of in here like this. So all I do is now, see, I have about a good 3 inches of foam on there, so I can push these in all the way. But if I had less, you can cut these picks down, just cut on an angle, and then you could, it's still sharp enough. It just isn't going to be as tall, so that way it goes in as far as you want it to. I'm just putting a little glue on that, not burning myself. Pushing it in. All right. So I got 3 more. I can do like a 1 and a 2 and a 3. I think that'll be enough. Okay. So now I'm going to try to kind of go in. I'm going to put this one in kind of like an up and down, okay? Because we want to really fill this in as much as we can. But I also want to make sure that it's not going to get in the way of my big juicy bow, which I usually put in the front, and I usually put it in on an angle. All right, so there we go. That's what that one looks like. All right, this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put this one in the same way I did the other one. Okay, I'm going to go kind of like a up and down, baby. All right. And then this one I'm going to put in the front. So these 4 pieces were enough. So you can use scrap. If you've got a couple pieces left over, they don't have to even be the same color. As long as they go with your theme, use whatever you want. Now this one I'm going to put a little further back because I know the bow is going to kind of go here. Okay, so that's what we've done. Our hat. He's wearing his toupee. He's got his toupee on. It's lovely. It's beautiful. It's a toupee. Okay. All right, I'm going to put him over to the side because now we are going to make the bow. I'm trying to push it to the side so I can see the comments. Overview, live chat. I wish it left the comments up for me. Linda and Renee. Hey, ladies. How's it going tonight? I'm surprised I can talk. I had a tooth pulled on Monday. So, yeah, it doesn't even hurt that bad. I was amazed. But I was in a codeine stupor. I think, Renee, did I talk to you on Monday? I don't know what day I talked to you, girl. Days were blending. Things were happening. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to unplug this for now just because, there we go. Because that won't reach. I'm going to bring over my Easy Bows Design Pro. I love my Easy Bows Design Pro because it's got the plastic dowels. So, there are 2 kinds of crafters. There are people who can make a bow by hand that don't have tendon problems with their hands. And then there's the rest of us. We have no shame in our bow making game by using something like this. This is a bow maker. This is the Easy Bows Design Pro. Go in my profile, go to the link tree, scroll on down. You find one for Easy Bows, and that's going to take you right to their website. There is a smaller version of this that is wood. That is good as well, but I prefer this one. It's also got a taller dowel, and it's longer. I like it longer. Just saying. Okay, So now here are our variety of ribbons. Okay, so they're mostly black and white, but I am bringing in purple, just one kind of purple, because remember we're gonna have some slight little purple accents here. So it's gonna be black and white with a little bit of purple. But the main ribbon, this is one of my go-tos for many, many holidays, including Easter, is just a black and white Harlequin. You can use this for Valentine's Day, Christmas. It's very versatile. I love this. All right. So I start by dovetailing. What that means is I'm taking the two ends that are wired. Always use wired ribbon. Always use protection, but always use wired ribbon. Put the ends together, cutting angled from the inside out. See, go like that, and then you end up with a very pretty V shape. Okay, the tail of a dove, hence dovetail. Yeah, I make that joke every time. All right, I'm going to put it in the bow maker. So I'm going to figure out how big of a bow. Now this is a big jack-o'-lantern. So I'm going to kind of hold it up here. Let's see. I think this will be good, I think, on the max width of the tail. So this tail is, we're going to call this tail 9 inches. I haven't had a good 9 inches I've never had a good 9 inches. I've had like a good 4.5, but never a 9. But our loops are going to be a little bit smaller. Okay, we're going to come in about 1 inch. So if that's 9 inches, and I'm going to do my first loop at 8 inches. Okay, so I'm going to move this over. I have pinched and twisted in this bow maker here. You can see this is the finished side up. When I put it in here, I did a pinch and twist. Okay, and I'm looking at the back side of the bow, or the ribbon. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to watch where the natural curve of this loop goes. Okay, and it's going right here at 8. So then I'm going to pinch and twist again. Sometimes you can pinch and twist it after it's already in here, but because it's 4 inches, it's a little bit thicker. I want to make sure I get a good pinch and twist. So that's why I kind of did it before I slid it down in this little prong thingy. I don't even know what you call it. The middle thing. That's the technical term. All right. Bring this over. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to go 8 inches on this side, bringing it down. And there is 8. All right. So I'm going to pull this. Okay. The bottom one ended up being 9, almost 10. It spread out. So I'm going to cut that a little bit longer than that on the other side. I'm going to cut it at 10, actually. I'd rather have my tails too long and then I can trim them later. It's like not cutting your bangs too short, right? No, I'm not cutting my bangs. And I'm going to dovetail. So it should be, yep, just before 10 on both sides. Okay. So this is, oops. Sorry, I pin it right away. I'll put it behind me. A big old mess. Do not look at the junk behind me. It is a mess. But it looks like this. You're like, that doesn't look like a bow. But wait, there's more. I'm going to pull the tail down on the right and then push the loop up on the right. And then I'm going to bring the tail up on the left and the loop down on the left. So we end up with that. Okay. That is going to be kind of like the defining pattern of how we do all the rest of these ribbons. Okay. I'm going to do this solid glitter one next. Now this time I started from the right and I went to the left. This time I'm going to start from the left and go over to the right. I've dovetailed. And if you want to, you can dovetail when you're all done. I just dovetail as I'm doing it because I'm weird. All right. So if that last tail was almost at 10, this one I'm going to have almost at 9. I want to come in a little bit. I don't necessarily want them that long. So I'm going to pinch and twist. Okay. All right. So now this loop, this was 8 inches below it. Now we're going to do a loop that is going to be 7.5 inches. I like to come in a 1/2 inch with every layer that I do. All right, pinching and twisting on the left. So I'm looking at the back side now. Pinching and twisting. 7.5, 7.5. I wish I could make bows by hand. It goes a lot faster, but this does help me make sure that everything is a bit more even. And plus side, here's the big plus for me. If I suddenly have to go to the bathroom, I can just walk away from this. I can leave this. I can leave it for an hour, for a day, for a week, and it's just still going to be sitting there. I don't have to be holding it, and my hands don't hurt. All right, here we go. And I'm only going to be using the ribbon for the bow. All right, so I'm going to go back. I'm trying to, it keeps taking my comments away from me. Here we go. Oh, Diane, go to sleep and catch me on replay, girl. Go to sleep. For sure, for sure. Let's see what else. Renee is having French silk pie. Girl, I am jealous. Linda Harrigan Santagato. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, Paula, that is a pumpkin from the at-home store. I just went yesterday. I had been going, seeing, do they finally have them in? They have them in store, both the big ones and the smaller, like 8-inch ones, because I decorate those too. They had those as well. Now, what I didn't see this year was I didn't see pink pumpkins. They did pink last year. They did not do pink this year. They also have a different kind of jack-o'-lantern with like an open top that, like, you know, there's a candle in there. So I did get one of those to do like an arrangement that you can just set on the top, like if you did it on wood round, something like that, but I haven't quite done that yet. Okay, here is our second layer. There we go. Our third layer is going to be, this is just a diagonal stripe, right? Nice and easy. I didn't want to get kitschy on this and do any like pumpkin patterns or anything like that. I wanted to keep it, go that way, cut that on the, match the diagonal. I wanted to keep it a little bit more elegant. Okay, so this, if that was at, that was a little bit before 9. Okay, so this is going to be like an 8-inch tail, okay, and a 7-inch loop. And notice I went back from going right to left. Okay, 7 inches, 7 inches. There we go. All right, and then cut off right a little bit after 8. There we go. This is the first time I have used this particular ribbon, and I like it. I don't really like the nylon ones, but this isn't like truly nylon. It's more of an acetate, but I like it. I don't mind. It's not so much the quality of the ribbon. It's how does it act when there's the wire on there, because sometimes the wires will kind of like come together at the end, and I don't like that. You know, if it's a thinner ribbon. I like the thicker ribbons. Oh, I don't have a pin in this one yet. All right. Pinning it and putting it behind me. Now, we have our two choices. I have this, and I think I'm going to go purple because this is more of a pattern, and this is kind of more of a solid, even though it's got a little pattern on the edge. So I'm going to throw this one on next to give us our hint of purple. And this really matches these glitter picks, like, wow, right on, right on. So I'm super excited about that. I bought those for a different project, but then I was like, you know what? They go perfectly with this. It'd be a shame not to. Now I'm going to go left to right, okay? That was like an 8-inch tail. So now I'm going to do like a 7.5-inch tail. Sometimes when I start my 1.5 inch, I will actually come in a little bit more. So this was a 7-inch loop. Now I'm going to be doing, let me see what looks good. I think I'm going to do, I'll do a 6.5. I'll do a 6.5. Pinch and twist. Okay. 6.5. That's why I like having these here. All right, there we go. There we go. Ugh. My back hurts. I'm not gonna lie, I took an accidental nap because I took a codeine. So a little accidental nap today. That's why the foam didn't get painted black. Oh, now I'm hearing the Rolling Stones Paint It Black in my head. All right. So that's it for the purple. And I think it's nice. I think we needed a little touch of color. The black and white can be good, but sometimes I did make a black and white one last year. But sometimes I think it's good to just have a little splash color. All right, now we're going to go with, this is a Deco Exchange ribbon. So this came in a wreath supply box. I don't know if they sell this ribbon just by itself or not, but it's like, it feels like one of the deluxe ribbons, and it's double-sided, right? So this is really pretty. They've already kind of, I'm not going to dovetail this. See how they wrap it up so that you can see the back side? I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay. I'm not going to dovetail this, but I'm going to start over here this way. Now, once it's wrapped, and it's wrapped in like 1 inch sections, so I have to add like 2 inches to when I cut this. But this one is hitting at 7. I'm going to pinch and twist. I didn't even put that on the spindle. Wow, this is a good quality ribbon. This is nice. All right. All right, this one's going in here at, I'm going to do 5.5 inches. Doing 5.5 inches. Okay, pinch and twist. 5.5 inches. Okay. Now I don't have to pinch and twist this one because this is the end, but so if I unroll this, this measures out to 9. So I'm going to cut this off at 9, and then I'm going to fold it in. Okay. It's about 1 inch, so folding that in once and then twice. All right. Boy, this is a nice ribbon. And I'm glad I put this on top of the purple because the purple one is a little bit thinner. It doesn't pop as much as this one does. Okay. Wrong way, Linda. Pay attention. Sorry, I'm hungry. That's why my brain is like, where are you going, girl? And then I have this is this 5/8 or 7/8? This is a 5/8 white with black glitter vines. I got this from Craft Outlet, RGF 1394X6. Sometimes I just like to add a pretty little thin one into the middle. Now I did not dovetail. I cut this one on an angle because if I dovetail it, the ends go together and it looks like snake fangs, and I'm not into that. All right. So this tail is just at 6, and I think we're probably going to end up doing, I would say maybe 4.5 inch loops on this. Yeah, 4.5 inch loops. And like these, I don't use that much of this 5/8, so it really goes a long way. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to grab, I got my pipe cleaner. Actually, I don't even need the whole thing. I need just the half pipe cleaner. And I'm going to grab a zip tie. Now you can use a pipe cleaner around the whole thing. I just like to use zip ties because it makes it tighter and then it makes everything pop. It's like a push-up bra, but for your bow, right? You want those big bouncy loops. Everyone's going to be looking at those loops like, girl, where'd you get those? There we go. I am getting implants next year, guys. I'm so excited. I'm getting implants. The teeth, not there. But yeah, very excited. Here we go. Just have to wait for that one to heal, and then I'm going to get 2 cents. All right, here we go. Now, I'm pulling it tight, but not super, super tight until, let's fluff it out. Once it's all fluffed and everything's got its final position, I'll pull it tighter. But remember, opposite. So we want to make sure that everything is acting independently. So just really pull your loops, pull up your tails, run your fingers down the length of your tails because that is how it gets it to get that really nice curl that we like. Sometimes if it's a wider ribbon, you got to run it down each side first. Right, up, go. This is going to be a big one. All right, now tightening it. I'm going to trim off the rest. Now here's where, if you are using the wood picks, keep it at the full length so you can wrap it around that wood pick. But since I have the pick machine, I'm just going to do what I did before. All right, put it in there. About 1 inch. I'm going to put it in my pick machine, pick up, lay that flat, handle down, and I got my pick. All right, keep that off to the side. We are going to put these ribbons off to the side because we are done with the ribbons, baby. All right, but now let's take a look at where we're going to put this bow. This is a big juicy bow. Now the thing with the bow is, and I'm guilty of this, sometimes I put it too low and it ends up hanging down in front of its its face, and it looks like it wants to be one of those emo kids with the bangs from like the mid 2000s. We want to make sure this goes up a little bit higher. So I'm going to kind of put it in right here, okay? I'm going to do it facing me though, because I don't want to mess it up. And I also want to make sure that I don't get any glue on the ribbon. So I'm making sure the pick is sticking way far out. All right. There we go. All right. And as we work on this too, I mean, the things are gonna, it's gonna whack into the bow. So this is not the final fluff, but I just want to get an idea for where everything lays, especially with the loops. Okay. I'm glad I put this back where I did, because see, this is coming down between the eyes, and that's fine. And I can even actually, I'm going to give it a little bit of a trim, but it's not covering the face. Okay. Now I'll swing it around in a second here. You just really want to make sure that you've got that whole X shape going on. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here's our guy. Let me plug him in again, because, hey, we're going to get lit. Literally. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. So let me bring over our picks and figure out what we're going to do. I think what I'm going to do first is probably the 60919. Oh boy. Oh, it's a mess. Hold on. There is like an avalanche ready to happen over off to the side. You're gonna hear it fall any minute. It's gonna go. It's gonna go. All right. So I have an extra piece of this too. I'm gonna save that. I'm only gonna use what I showed you guys that I can use. Okay. So I have 2 of these. So technically I'm gonna have 6 pieces of this that I'm gonna be able to pull out. Okay. Because when you separate it out, you will be able to see. You see how it goes in 3 pieces there? Okay. So I'm gonna pull these all apart. Now, see, this is where it is helpful to have a pick machine to help kind of keep everything together. Wrap around that. There we go. I'm going to get my snips, because I like to make sure when I'm going to put it in that my ends are nice and flush, so I can do that. Okay. And pull this one off. Right. Sometimes I'll take, there's an extra wire, I'll just kind of wrap it around up toward the top just to add a little bit of extra security, right? And pull off some of the paper. But the good one is the one in the middle, because this one is on a long stick. So I'm going to leave this taller, because this, I think, is going to set the maximum height for the rest of this arrangement. So I'm going to cut this off, I think, about here. I don't want this to necessarily be super, super tall. Okay. We're going to cut it right there. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Boop. Boop. All right, I'm cutting this one the same length, roughly. And I'm saving my sticks. These come in handy. Never know what else you can add. I might be adding a little extra something when we're done. You never know. Okay. Okay. I'm going to add a pick onto this one, because everything's kind of, it's splaying out, and I want to make sure that it doesn't split when I try to attach it into the pumpkin. There we go. All right. Just wrapping, there's like an extra little wire from one of these leaves that kind of came down that isn't usually there in some of the other ones. So There we go. So now what we want to do is, we don't want to put it in like this. We want it to take up as much real estate as possible, give us as much coverage as possible, right? So we're going to spread it all out. Okay, that's good. Spread this one out. The berries should be at the front. So whenever we put it in, the berries should always kind of be facing to the outside, because if we stick it in the inside, you're not going to see them. You want to face them to the outside, especially like if it's on the back, which we're going to be putting some in the back. Okay. All right. Just doing my fluffing them all. There we go. I love this in a black and white. It's really getting some spooky haunted vibes. Who's loving this? Okay, so you guys got to tell me as we're doing this, I want to know, when do you put your Halloween stuff out? When do you start? If you decorate at all. Some people don't. They just like to do fall. They don't do Halloween. I do Halloween and then go right to Christmas. Okay. All right. So I feel like this one really is going to need a pick. And maybe not. All right. I'm going to add some glue onto this one. I'm going to put this in the back, all right, because I want to kind of try to cover a lot of some of the stuff going on here. And there we go. All right. So I put that in there. Put that right underneath there, because so we're starting to get some coverage. I'm going to face it toward me because I want to do the ones with the really long stems. I want to figure out what is our maximum height here. Okay. And I'm not going to stick these in evenly like rabbit ears. All right, we don't want it to look like that, but okay. This other one is going to go in the other side. Lots and lots of glue. And I'm not piercing, not pushing it through the mesh. Okay. All right. This is what we've got so far. That's 3 pieces. We have 3 more to go. I always end up squishing the bow. Trust me, I will go back and refluff. We are going to need a refluff when I am done. That's for sure. All right. I think we're going to have some kind of coming out. Maybe from like here. All right, so that'll be the next one. There we go. You can really use any kind of mixed greenery bush that you can find. Michael's really did step up their Halloween game this year. I'll show you some of the other picks and stuff that we have to use. Go. I'm really wishing I would have painted the base black right now, but I think we're going to be okay. Okay, I'm going to go stick another one of these. I think maybe in toward the back here. And then one toward the side. And then I'm going to have to replace my glue. I'm almost out of glue. All right, I need a new glue stick. Gorilla Glue sticks. The only glue sticks I will use. And I also use a cheap Surebonder. I also have one that's battery operated, but I never remember to use it. All right. So the last one I'm going to want to put right in here, okay? Because we want to see it coming down. It's kind of over there. It's kind of coming around, and then we got it there, okay? So we're going to put that there. Pushing it in. If I can like gather it all together and then push it in, that helps it go in further. There we go. Okay. I am liking this. Here we go. That's what we got so far. Now we bring over the rest of the goodies. All right. I think the next thing I want to put in are these curls. So these were from Michaels. They are, I think sticker price is $7.99, which is a really good deal because if you sign up for their rewards and stuff, I think I got this when I had a 30% off your entire purchase. So, oh, you bet I shopped that day. Yeah. All right. You could just kind of stick this in as one piece, but it usually looks better if you kind of take it apart and spread it out. Or you can take one apart and leave two of them together. Try to get the label off. My one beef with these places that sell this stuff is like they put the stickers in the worst possible places. All right, here we go. Here we go. We got this going. So I'm going to pull this guy apart. And I could put him directly in there, but I'm gonna put a pick on him just to make him go in a little bit easier. Okay. So let's see. I want to put this one kind of in the front. Oops, I accidentally already stabbed the mesh. That's not a good idea. Again, I try not to push things through the mesh. Since they're ruffles, you can kind of part the ruffle like a butt crack and get it to go in there that way. There's not a lot of foam there. There we go. Got one. Separate these out again. Now this is a shorter one, so I think I'm going to use this one kind of like maybe down here. I'm going to put a pick on him. You can, though, put it directly in. I think these are sturdy enough. You just got to make sure that you don't, if you force it to, hold it down as close as you can without burning yourself, and you'll be able to get that in there. It's just, what I hate is when you force a stem in and then it bends on you and you're like, that sucks. That's not what I wanted. All right. And this is going to be a tall dude. All right. So I cut the stem off, and I think we're going to put him in kind of like there. Okay. And I do have another one of this, so we've got 3 more of these to use. All right, so there's 1. 2, 3, 4. Picky, picky. Don't burn yourself on the glue gun, Linda. Your hand is right there. I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it. Ugh. All right. And then cut him off. Maybe a little longer. There we go. All right. Whew. Boy, I got the mess going on here. Just clean this up real quick. All right. So the other one, let me take a look at this guy and see where do I want the other tall one. And I think kind of in the back. I don't want them, if I put them right next to each other, they're going to look like antenna. We don't want that. It's going to kind of be a little more toward the back and on a bit of an angle. So I'm going to cut this one down. All right. And this one, I definitely don't have to put a pick on. That stem is good. All right. And then these 2. There we go. I'll show you in a second where I have placed this one. Angle it that way. And what I like about these is you can bend these. You can curl them under, make them smaller if you want to. Where do I want this last one? I think maybe kind of toward the front here. Yeah, I'm going to have this one. I'm going to have the curl coming toward the front. Okay. So it's almost kind of coming into the bow a little bit. because then that way your elements are kind of intermingling with each other and it looks, I don't want to say more natural because there's nothing about finding a black and white pumpkin in the wild that has this stuff on there. But there we go. There's that. So now we also do have these hats. I'm going to wait on using the hats, okay? Because I want them to be up toward the front. So the next thing I'm going to use is, these are filler bushes. These I got from Craft Outlet, and I'm going to just trim these down. They're pushers, so you can push the pieces of it up and down as you need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 of these in each one. So these are just, it's basically just a filler bush. They have it also in multiple colors. I think they've got pink and black, they've got orange and black. And then they just go right in. And you can cut these down too. They don't have to be this long. All right, I'm just kind of finding places where I think that it would look good to have some of these. I definitely want to keep, what is it? This is a tall one, so I'm going to try to put this in the center. All right. Building on the height. Hard thing is when I want to put it right in the center, that's where the stem of the pumpkin is. So I can't put, it has to be a little bit off center. All right, and I've got 2 of these bushes, so I can use another one if I want to. I'm going to trim this one down just a little bit because I want to try to start putting some a little bit more up toward by the front of Mr. Pumpkin. There, I put that one kind of right there. All right. This is fun. I love making these. They are expensive to ship, however. I do ship these. I do list these at sweetredecor.com. And I mean, these cost me probably close to $50 to ship because of the dimensions. So I will list a whole bunch of them, and people have bought them. People have bought them. They really want them, so they're willing to do it. Just so you guys know, I don't make a huge profit off of these just because, you know, of the shipping. But I like it because they're fun to make. I like doing it. Let's see where I can put another one of these. I think down in the front, we're going to put one right there. Okay, I'm going to push it up a little bit and trim off just a little bit of the stem, about 1 inch. All right, I'm going to come at it from this side so we can kind of see where we're going. I think right in here. Let's see if I like it. Yep. Looking good. Looking good. Okay. All right. The next thing I think I want to put in is we've got roses and we have these little eucalyptus things. I think I'm going to put these in, I think. Because these are going to add some height. Okay. So that's kind of what I want right now. And then, because some of these roses, the stems, I mean, these are long stem roses, so I think they'll be okay. But again, this is kind of just filler. I wish I would have bought more of this. If I had only known Joann was going to go out of business, I would have placed the biggest. I mean, when I found out, I placed a huge order. And I always order a lot after season clearance too. You know, but I just wish I would have ordered more. I didn't know. I didn't know. Joann. Joann. Oh, gosh. She had the best stuff for Halloween, in my opinion. Not that Michael's is bad, but like they just had like really good candy corn picks, and it was just awesome. Oh, we're gonna miss it. All right, just kind of putting them in here, just adding, circling around, adding the height in. Just making sure I don't put it in like, you know, dot, like you don't want it to be straight across. I'm going to take a look here. I have 4 of these left. I'm going to cut these down and go a little bit shorter now. But I think I want a nice one in the top behind the bow. So maybe a little bit shorter. I'm going to do it facing me. Sorry, I just need to make sure I'm doing it the right way. There we go. All right, that's looking good. I feel like I need some over on this side right here. I want to add some. So let's add one. It's a little bit shorter of a one. And I'm going to check the comments in a minute because I haven't checked it in a while. I want to see how my friends are doing. All right, and we can bend that with a wire. Another one in the back. Because, you know, I want to make sure that the back looks good, guys. All right, I got one left. All right, let me see. Let's take a look. We're going to put this one. Oh, I can tell already. I've got, you see there's like a hole right here. There's not a lot going on right in there. I want to put it in there. Okay. But I'm going to cut it down a little bit because that's just a little too long of the length. All right. Adding glue. Okay. So that is what we've got on the back. Here's what we have on the front. Now I want to try to put on the black roses. These are from Joann. Oh, I'm using up the last of my stash. Oh, it makes me so sad. So sad. So sad. We'll go back to live chat. I want to see what people are saying. Here we go. All right. So you guys got to tell me, do you decorate? When do you decorate for Halloween? I need to know. Girl, I need to know. All right. So these are kind of like, you can see there's like 3 bunches. So I might try to keep this and put this in as a bunch. There we go. I'm going to try to keep these 3 together, but see, I can spread them really far apart, so you're not really going to be able to know when you look at it that they're all together. But I'm going to try to put this centered. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I can keep 2 of them together, but that one is just too tall. So here's the one that was too tall, and I'm going to put this in by itself. I also sometimes will take that little nub and cut these things off just so it's got more of a straight shot to go right in the foam. There we go. And it cuts pretty easy because there's no wire in those little offshoots. Okay. Got 1 flower in there. Separate out the rest of these. Let me see where else we're going to put one. Because I want to have multiple that are taller, but let me see. In the back, toward the back, kind of like right down there. That's where this one's going to go. Now this one has a really thick piece on there, so this one might be more of a pain in the ass to get in there. Let's see. It's going. It's going. All right. Okay. That one's in there. There we go. I'm going to put one toward the front. There we go. All right. This one's going to peek out from behind the bow. I wish I had multiple cameras and I can kind of like change up the angle, but I can't. So just bear with me. You'd be amazed by how many people come on and they're watching a free video they didn't pay for and they feel the need to complain and criticize. Like, bitch, get off my channel. Mama Linda ain't playing with people no more. I am not. I'm like, I'm doing this for free to be nice. This is not in a subscription group. This is just to be nice. And if people come on and they're not nice, then bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. So here we go. This is what we got so far. I've got some small roses I'm going to pop into the back here. There we go. That looks good. I'm going to do a piece coming out on the side, and then I'll point out to you where I've put all these in there. And if I can still see some of this foam when I'm all done, I can go back in and fill it in with my nemesis, Spanish moss. Bleh, vomit. I hate Spanish moss. All right, I put one in there, and I put one down there, and I put another one down there. Okay? What I need is a tallish one. This one. To kind of start coming out the side that's facing me. So. All right. I had to move the little mesh a little bit. But I'm going to move that, and then we can put this baby right in here. Ow, 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 ow. I burnt myself on the glue. This is wanting to bend as I put it in, so I'm going to put a pick on this. Again, reason number 1,000,001 why I love having a pick machine. It helps immensely. All right. All right. That one had gone right in there, right? I'm going to put a couple of these taller ones. I want to fill out the middle in the back here because you got to remember, we're not just doing this as a front-facing arrangement. You always need to take into account that people can see this from all angles. So. Oh, that one was perfect. I love that one. Great, great, great. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And now one kind of over there. And that should be, I think, the last one. So I'm going to snip this. Here we go. Oh, all right. I think maybe this one might need a pick. Well, nah, I'll try it without a pick. We'll see. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Is it going to go? Is it going to go? Who knows? Push, push, push. Push. Oh, God. It's like I'm having a baby with my hand. Get in there. Get in there. There she goes. All right. Well, that felt better. All right. And then now, there's a little tiny bit based still on there. I'm going to use this. I never waste stuff. I'm going to put it right under here. See, right under her eye? Kind of right there. Oh, I'm already calling it a her. I guess it's a girl. I guess it's a she. I don't know. It can identify as whatever it wants to. All right. Good. Got that leaf in there. That looks perfect. I have this big black branch. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to put that in here or not. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I am. I am. This was from this Ashland brand. This was $3.99. These are really nice. These are like really super freaking sturdy. So if I turn around, you can see like right here, I think I can handle to put something. So I'm going to put this in there. This is going to be big. I'm not cutting it down. It's going to be big and tall. All right. That is in there. That is in there. I think I'm going to hit that with my glue gun just extra to make sure. There we go. Got it. All right. That's in there. We got that cool little branch coming that way. All right. I did not use these. Okay. I only used one set. So I'm going to put those away because we didn't use them. What I want to do though around the bottom though is I want to make sure that I've got some good coverage. So I have these. I have this bush. This was from Joann, but this is just black eucalyptus. Okay. And I want to go along the bottom and just make sure that I've got enough coverage where you're not going to see a lot of this stuff. So I can actually cut some of this down too. I don't have to use the whole full length of this because it might look a little wonky, like a little too much. I'm actually going to put that one in here because I saw a spot. All right. So I'm going to take one of these, but maybe I can like cut it down like right here. Okay. Cut it on top of that one. And now I've got two pieces I can use. And I'm just going along the bottom and finding spots where maybe you can still see some of that foam. And just kind of pushing that in there. And now that gives it some coverage and we can't really see it, which is exactly what we want. Just some little bits and pieces. I don't have to use it all. Okay, I'm going to cut another one of these off here. Of course, I grabbed the one with the price tag. Oh, I'm crazy like that. All right. Let's get the scissors, Linda. Again, why do they do this with the price tags? What is their issue? Drives me nuts. All right. One's going to go in. And I'll probably do another one after this too. Oh, I see a big gap. Definitely going to need one of these. Yeah, cut that one down here. All right. You'll see, when I'm done with this, I'm going to turn it around so you guys can see what I did. I wish I had the ability to like zoom and really show, but I'm just trying to explain what I'm doing. I'm kind of pushing this stuff in all around the bottom. You can also do this with if you have just some black leaves as well. That works. Okay. Here we go. And I could have just kept these together, but it was going to stick out too far. And we don't need that. That would look a little wonky weird. We don't want that. I'm also going to put some of this actually in the front. So let's take a look at her in the front, okay? Right, but there's not a lot of greenery. There's nothing going on here. So I'm going to try to add a little bit. Now, I don't want to add a whole thing. That seems like kind of a lot. So I might try to trim this down like right there. All right. I can add a little glue. Then I want to kind of pull it to the side, right? There we go. Brings it a little forward, adds a little bit of dimension, which I think is good. Add a couple more of these full-size ones. I'm just going to plop in the middle for coverage. Because the bottom of these eucalyptus leaves is, it's really nice for kind of, it spreads out, so it really kind of hides what you don't have in there. All right. I'm going to add a pick onto this one. If it'll go. This is a really skinny one. Yeah, that didn't work. That did not work. Well, then I'm just going to stick it in like it is and see how far we get. There we go. All right. Looking good, looking good. I'm going to add a little bit on this side. All right. It's funny how it all comes together. And I'm trying to go as fast as I can on this. I don't want people to be getting bored. But it's going to take however long it takes. We're almost done. We just got to put a couple little purple things in here. Right? I'll try to go through the mesh. There we go. All right. 2 more. I might as well use them. Use them while you got them. Keeping it long. That's how we like it. Okay. And this one I'm going to have coming right back out the middle. All right. I really like this. Boy, the problem is finding really good black greenery, and Joann really had, honestly, some of the best. Like, you can find roses, but they usually have green leaves and green stems, and the whole thing is to find ones with black. All right, let me just pull out my garbage can and dump all this stuff in here. And then we can continue on. Okay. All right, so now we still have 2 things to add. We have the hats, and then we have our little touches of purple. So I think I'm going to go in with the touches of purple first, and then we will add in the rest. So these came from Craft Outlet. All right. I'm debating if we're going to leave these all together or if we're going to separate it out. I think I'm going to leave them together. I've got 3 of these. I'm going to leave them together because I kind of want to use it for the height. I can decide later on to potentially maybe take one of them and cut them apart. I got one in the back. See where I did that one? Now we're going to take a look at one in the front. Ugh. This is called Frizzy Curly Pick. Frizzy Curly Pick H16. Okay. Now I'm separating this out, right? Because we want to spread it out. I want to put this right here. Okay. So we're going to add some glue. You know what? Actually, I'm going to cut it down. I cut off the middle part because it was a little too much for the front. So you can see some here. I'm going to try to take this one and maybe pull it kind of like down here. And then we can pull these to make them longer to really make sure that we can see them well. But I want to make sure that these are, ow, ow, ow. Flip. Burnt myself. Burnt myself good. Ouch. All right. We got the last set here. So I'm going to have to go back and look at all the product I used to figure out what the sales price on these, but I think these probably get listed for, I think around, I mean, don't forget, it's like $50 to ship, so I think they're going to list for like $189. There's a lot of product in these. All right, I'm going to cut this. So I'm breaking it into two. All right, because I've got some over here, some over there. But I want to add in some more purple onto the back, but that is a little long, so I'm going to cut this. Okay. I'm going to put this in the back. There we go. See back there. And I'm going to add a little bit more. I think kind of like right in here. So it's not entirely in the back, but it's not entirely in the front. It's in the middle. It just takes some time. Little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Sorry. There's a song called The Middle. All right. Got pushed in there. Make sure it's in there good. Yep, that's in there good. Okay. So now the last thing we have to put on, so let's take a look at where we're at right now, okay? This is where we're at. Gosh, the cord. All right. And then this is all that. I'm going to fix the bow right now because then we're going to piece this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take the 3 pieces of this apart on the witch hats, okay? Oh, there we go. No wonder that was looking weird. The loop is in the wrong place. There we go. Oh, much better. So much better. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Now I do have, potentially, I was thinking of taking some of these pumpkins, okay, and sticking them on picks, which I can still do, but I want to do the hats first. All right, so I'm just going to pull these apart. All right. I cut this off. This is, what? Oh gosh. From top to bottom, this is like 16 inches, okay? I want this to kind of be like in the middle. But I feel like that might be a little too long. Yeah, I'm going to cut another 2 inches off, so probably like 14 inches. All right, glue in, glue in, glue in, glue in. I want to make sure that the spider faces me, so that's why it's going in. It's going in now. Facing me. Spider facing me. I'll show it to you in a second. Okay. There's the one. You can see the little purple spider. Okay. I'm going to try to get these other two kind of like off to the sides. So this is the taller one. I'm going to do this one on this side of him. Kind of like right in front of that big black branch. That's where that one went. I'm gonna actually switch places with it, with the rose. I'm bringing the hat forward, okay? And this one, gonna kind of come out back this way a little bit. Question is, where can I get to the, go that way. All right, now I see my path. Wanted to make sure I knew how I was gonna get between the ruffles and into the foam, because the last thing I want to do is friggin' burn myself again, son of a gun. Okay, there we go. This one's got a little bit of purple, something that had fallen off at some point. Don't quite know what to do about that. So, oh, I do. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue a little ball right on the spot where that other little thing fell off. I'm just holding it. Hello. If you'd enjoyed tonight's production, please follow along. You can like, you can share, and then you can also follow me over on my YouTube channel. Okay, I think we're good. I don't think I'm going to add in any pumpkins. I think I got enough. I think we're good. All right. The only thing that I might have decided to add, and hold on. I'm going to my secret stash. I'm going to my secret stash. And I'm grabbing something out of here. I'm grabbing a teeny tiny little white pumpkin. Okay, this teeny tiny little white pumpkin. I like to put them in the middle of my bows. Okay, like right there. So that's why I'm going to put this little teeny tiny white pumpkin in the middle of the bow. I'm just going to add, it's a taller one. It's not the wide one. It's the tall one. Now I'm shoving that in here. I'm shoving it on the bow, holding it in place, holding it in place, holding it in place. There we go. All right. Well, as I'm doing that, I'm just going to fluff my stuff here. All right. We are good. Okay. Make sure he looks all cool. Make sure she, I don't know, he, she. It doesn't matter. Whatever makes her happy. All right. Here is our finished product. So this is our big jack-o'-lantern. We got her from the at-home store. She was $34.99. We added in all sorts of, we added in picks from Michael's, Joann, Craft Outlet, and then we added in some mesh curls to kind of cover the base. And now, honestly, I'm looking through it. You can't see the foam. So if I'd had the time, I would paint it black. But since we didn't, I'm okay with it because I put so much in here, you can't see it. Okay. I'm going to have this listed at sweetariadecor.com. That's where all my items get listed. And this video also gets backed up to my YouTube channel. You can find me there because after 30 days, it will go away from Facebook. But as we go into Halloween, I want to encourage you guys to either, buy some fresh decor for your home to kind of freshen it up this year, get excited about it, or try to make your own as well. I do have wreath kits and ribbon and some other supplies available at sweetariadecor.com. So thank you so much for watching. Have a spooktacular rest of your week. All right, bye guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me all over social media, and you can shop my store at sweetariadecor.com.